Yeah. Their credits change every week. I think don't they?
You know what? I didn't notice that. The first one had unique credits. Did they even have? They do the previously on, and then is there a credit sequence in the beginning? I don't remember seeing it.
They Funko whatever Funko Pops came out like for the show.
Yeah.
And the Rio Vidal character is Death in the Marvel comics.
Yeah,
that's who she is.
That's
the teen is Billy Kaplan.
We know that.
Yeah, no, but they are also okay. They were hinting last episode that it was Nicholas Scratch, her son, but then Rio, you know what she does in this episode. I guess it's not. Yeah, so if it's Billy Kaplan,
and so what? Now Agatha's gay now, and that's wicked. Like I guess I like that. I like Joe Locke as wicked.
Yeah,
but Agatha's gay now too. Like, come on, bro.
Listen, I had a feeling in that first episode when they fought, I was like, oh, do they have is this a romantic past or are they just frenemies? But I guess they were a thing.
Hey, folks, this is one of those like real life like intros to a live stream, show on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge where we just like hit the live button and just start let the conversation continue from the green room. You know what I'm saying?
Just jump right in, just throw it, it. Go live, throw it.
That's the best intro music you could possibly have. It's just good conversation to start right off. You know what I mean? But it's good to see you, Mr. Jock and Nerd. I caught one of your shows recently today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. I had it out of the background. The Jock and Nerd podcast on YouTube is very entertaining. And we're waiting for Cyberneticshark, my co-host, to get here. But I'm Jeff S., a.k.a. TrueKnowledge. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, 10/2/24. We are 2 months away from the end of the year. So that's very interesting. What's up, Andres, the pop culture guy?
Pretty good. Very excited to talk about this episode.
So, I wanted to start the show off with to kind of like correlate with Agatha and like the witchy, weird, bizarre angle. I wanted a little incident from like my past. One time I met this chick and we connected and we vibed, right? And like I wanted to fuck her. And she was like, "Oh, I'm out of my period," and I was like, "Oh, that doesn't bother me." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "That's never stopped me before." And she was surprised that like I was so willing to like hit it with the period going on.
Yeah.
And in response, I took out her tampon with my teeth.
Oh.
Like I grabbed the string from the tampon with my teeth, and I pulled it out with my teeth, and I had it dangling from my mouth.
Okay.
And then I spit it out. You know what I'm saying? Before I hit that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to make room. Wait, what does this have to do with witchcraft? I thought this story was going. I thought you were going to say I hit it and then she put a curse on me.
On the road, this kind of shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got to do shit like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I wolfed that shit right out of there. Right, Andres? You got to get in there.
She put a curse on your dick to turn to stone.
No, unfortunately, there was no pussy no vagina cursing.
Look, let me ask: do you guys think? Have you experienced any kind of witchcraft in real life?
I mean, do you consider herpes
that's a curse?
That's a curse.
That's a curse.
Well, then maybe she did curse me, but
okay, I thought so.
No, ladies, I'm herpes free. I promise. I only have oral, no genital.
They're magical herpes. It can be cured with a magical spell.
Only oral, baby. I promise.
Just chant some Latin, Jeff. It'll go away. Just do some chanting in Latin. Get some water, put it in the moonlight, chant some Latin.
Haven't you heard that like 50% of all like everybody in the whole country has herpes of some kind?
Is that true? Ew.
I don't know. Dirty. I go to our prerequisite sexologist of record, Andres, the pop culture guy, on this kind of stuff.
What's the stats, Andres? You got numbers?
Numbers? Oh, I don't know. I think last night I checked was like 40 or 60%. That's how high.
Cyber, did you have to watch the episode again because it was so good that you had to rewatch it? Did you have to rewatch that cringe scene where they played that when they jammed out?
Knew exactly that as soon as that scene popped up, that's what you were going to be talking about. So as soon as it came up, I'm like, oh, Jeff's going to be roasting this. I just know it.
Down, go down. They're going down. Just
I only had a chance. I just
Imran,
finished it.
I should have sang that song before I ripped that tampon out, stashed that tampon out with that
you
chick.
would have been like down the road. down this bloody road.
I agree with you, Executive Judge. Episode 4 was kind of weak. I'm with you on that. But of course, I'm just moderating. So, like, you know, my opinion is only like it only counts so much right now, you know, in this current environment. The other guys on the show, you know, their opinion is more valuable than mine tonight because of my role. So let's get past my introduction with the tampon and the road and the correlation between my sex life and Agatha all along. But I'll have another one for the end of the show, I promise. A real good one. But so far, we're 4 episodes in. It looks like the show is going to end with an episode 8 and 9. So they started off with 2 episodes. They're going to end it with 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So we'll have a double episode show. That one will actually be 2 hours long for once. I can guarantee that. That one will actually be long enough there'll be enough content there for us to go for 2 hours. So it'll be nice. But so far we're basically at a halfway point if you want to base it off of the release schedule, right? So based off the trailers, it looks like they showed a lot of the latter episodes that we're about to watch coming up in the trailers. A lot of the stuff we've seen so far, really, I don't correlate to the trailers very heavily. But I'll start with you, Imran, because you're our freshest guest right now tonight. What's your thoughts on episode 4 generally, and then your thoughts on the show so far?
So I was kind of digging this show. You know, it's all right. I had kind of low expectations. I don't know who it was for. I'm still not sure who it's for. But they've kept me hooked just with kind of the teases of who people are and the little clues. And the last episode I thought was fun, and this one compared to the last episode, it felt a little more fillery. You know, they kind of do the same thing. There's another trial they go through, but they go through it really quick. In this one, where it seemed like last episode, it was the majority of the episode. So this one, while I was watching, I was like, I don't know. So far, this may not be my favorite episode. But, we get another musical number. Now, I do appreciate in this show, these songs are actually part of the story. They're part of the plot, and they're well written, and they're kind of catchy, and they get stuck in your head. So, for what it's worth, I imagine we are going to get more songs, maybe. And then ultimately, I'm enjoying the ride. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what they're building up to at this point. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of enjoying the ride for what it is, and it is at least episodic writing. It is not like a 6-hour movie that is just cut into chunks.
Imran, would you marry, fuck, or kill Catherine Hahn?
Oh, that's a good one. If you ask me, Aubrey Plaza, that one's easy. Catherine Hahn, you can marry, maybe. She's funny. She's got fun lines.
Okay, all right, that's fair humor.
She's funny. She makes me laugh.
She's not bad looking.
Yeah, no, she's not at all. But Aubrey Plaza killing it with that just scary, sexy look. Like she's sexy and scary at the same time. There's something about that.
All right, Cyber. Your same question, sir, and then of course, fuck, marry, or kill Catherine Hahn.
Let's see. Catherine Hahn, I would say, Jesus. I'd say all the above, except for killing her. I wouldn't kill her. I would say the other two, though, most definitely.
No, she's too talented to kill.
Yeah. So I would say the other two most definitely I would go for. Simple fact, I mean, yeah, like everyone has said, or as Imran has said, yeah, she's not bad looking. I've always had a thing for her anyway, since I like one of the first movies I ever saw her in. I think it was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, back in the early 2000s. I remember watching those rom-coms, and I remember thinking she was just I just had like I thought she was cute, so I had a thing for her. So yeah, I would say both the other two. And then the other question, the episode itself is definitely, I feel, it went from feeling like the last episode to feeling like a filler episode. Most definitely. I think that how it was, the trial itself was really short, unlike the last episode where it was majority of the episode. It definitely, it wasn't nowhere as entertaining as the last episode. So definitely a few points deducted from that, because it didn't take the whole episode like the first one. And at first, how it was playing out, I thought it was going to take the whole episode for them to figure things out, but ended up having that kind of that little end thing going on there. I thought was kind of odd. That to me felt like something either was not either filmed correctly, or they filmed it weird there or something like that. So I don't know. I just didn't feel like it felt like natural flowing like the previous two episodes were. So yeah, definitely I get what Imran's saying. And I would definitely say that this is definitely the weaker of the last two episodes.
Andre's a pop culture guy. Same question, sir. Oh, and
Yeah.
of course, I would fuck Catherine Hahn. I would not marry her. She should not die. She doesn't deserve to die. Very few people deserve to die. But like, she's definitely fuckable. So I would definitely fuck Catherine Hahn, just to be clear, without a condom. Though, if I have to wear a condom, I'm not fucking her. There you go. She's not that funny, Cyber. All right, Andres.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with everyone that the episode 4 was weak, but it was saved by Audrey Plaza. I was like, yes, she's here, finally. She was really the best thing about this episode was her. I just love Audrey Plaza. She just lights the whole, scenes like so much better. Like she has great chemistry with the actress playing Harkness. So I think I'm hooked on that, because I'm very curious about the relationship and like what happened with the son. So I think that's the part that I'm more excited about to learn more about in the next coming episodes. Yeah, like compared to the last episode, like I agree with the comment here, Judge. Like, yeah, the trial ended too quickly. There was no like there were stakes, but like it was so minimal. And Mrs. Hart, poor Mrs. Foreman, just got no special funeral or like send off. It was like, oh, here and like we don't see her body like getting put in the grave. I don't know, like it was just, I mean, it's in the grave, but it's just like we didn't see put her in the grave and yada. But yeah, it was overall weak. But Audrey Plaza is here. She was the best thing about this episode. I'm very curious about the relationship, and I will kiss Catherine, because I cannot. She's great. She's a great actress too. If you haven't seen her work, like Step Brothers, she's so funny in that. But I love Audrey Plaza, and you have to pick one of the three options. You can't pick kiss.
Yeah, it's not fuck, marry, kiss. That's not how this game works.
Oh well, I'm sorry. I'm new at this game. This is like first time playing this game.
It's simple. You got to pick an option: marry, fuck, or kill.
Well, good news. I'm not gonna marry her. I'm gonna marry Audrey Plaza. That's my wife.
If you were drinking some Denny juice one night, right, on a Thursday night when you're free, when you're not on the bleeding edge, right?
I'm gonna have to tell the Wakanda queen there, Mr. Andres Time Cop. She's gonna be really mad. Angela Bassett's gonna be very mad that you just said that about Audrey Plaza.
You don't want to piss off Wakanda queens. I'm telling you right now, they will throw objects at you like.
Actually, my Wakanda queen here over this timeline is very open with a relationship. So I'm lucky in this
They're in
timeline.
an open relationship. I like.
Angela
Yes.
Bassett. Angela Bassett looks like a fighter too. So I bet she's kind of abusive, as a partner. You know what I mean? You gotta get abused a little bit.
I mean, not with me, but with others, yes. She told me she's very abusive.
So Andres, if you had some Diddy juice one night on a Thursday night or whatever, you weren't busy making your shorts or whatever, with your thumbnails, you would fuck Catherine Hahn?
Yes, I could do that. Yeah, I will, kill her as well and
there you go.
kiss her. So yeah, but just
He's
not
gonna
married.
he's gonna do everything. He's gonna fucking kiss her.
Do
And then
everything
kill her.
except for marriage.
And then
Archery
get married.
Plaza takes yeah.
Are you gonna pull out her tampon with your teeth?
No.
Down, down,
You're
down,
down. No.
Could you
No.
imagine? Could you imagine if they started a challenge tomorrow? The TrueKnowledge, take a tampon out with your teeth challenge. You know what I'm saying? A dude started putting up videos on TikTok and shit.
Oh my god. Dude,
Now
no.
that you said it, it's probably gonna happen, Jeff.
Most definitely. There's 21 people here that could potentially be, open to the challenge. So that's always positive. So, all right. So as far as the episode goes, the introduction of the episode is not so bad, right? It starts off with them back on the road and them dealing with the death of Sharon, of Deborah Jo Rupp's character, right? And working past that and working their way down the road, right? Basically, they summon a new green witch, and that witch is Real Vidal, who we know now is Death. It's going to end up being Lady Death, essentially in the series, right? Or in the MCU, okay? Which I actually like that move so far. If that's where they're going to go, I like that move. So I'll stop there because that is the intro, and I'll go to you, Andres, the pop culture guy. What are your thoughts on the intro with Real Vidal's Lady Death popping up back in the series again in episode 4?
Yeah, finally.
The loss of Sharon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they didn't care about the loss of Sharon. She was just a what do you call it, like father, like she was the red shirt for the group, basically. In Star Trek terms. So she was the red shirt, so we don't care about this character. So I was shocked how just okay, it was that. I mean, they they did care about her a little bit, but I don't know. That was kind of weird. No, not something special, but like something man, this one human die in our hands, which I appreciate they at least acknowledge that in this scene. Everyone we're accusing each other for not doing the task which we were asking last week. So I did appreciate they acknowledged that. But yeah, so fortunately Sharon's dead. I don't know if they're gonna bring her back as a ghost or not, but we'll see. But then when they brought in Rio, I really was so excited. I was like, oh, okay, we're in this part. It was really great. And this Entrapasa just chewing the scenery right there, which was great. Just the way, the way she came out from the ground was so much like Evil Dead, or zombies, which one of them comment about it's did we bring back Sharon as a zombie? So yeah, so I really enjoyed the sequence. I mean, okay, but when we got to Real, I felt it was really great. Her being Lady Death makes a lot of sense. I mean, the fact that it makes sense to connect it with the sun and all that, so that makes a lot of sense. Plus, there's going to be a different Lady Death than the comic books. If anyone knows, Death was always connected to Thanos, but because they didn't do that in the Infinity War saga, so this is going to be very interesting what they're going to do with it. So I'm very
right. Yeah, she was his girlfriend, right? Thanos' girlfriend.
In the comics, Death is a cosmic character back in the day. At least that's what she was. She was a cosmic character.
So both Marvel and DC both have a Death character. I am more partial to DC's version of Death from the Sandman comic books. She's like this 14-year-old punk teen goth girl. And it's a great, like, that's the first death I ever read when I was reading Sandman. And then later I was like, oh, Marvel's got death too. I mean, they both have the same things.
You asked me earlier about ghost stories or supernatural stuff like that.
Yeah, are witches real?
I have a supernatural ghost story type story. I'll drop it when we get at the end of the show when we get done with the episode. Right. Yeah. But I believe in ghosts because I lived in a haunted house in Louisiana when I was younger.
Yeah.
I think I've told Cyber about it before, but I don't think I've ever told anybody else about it. Yeah, I lived in a haunted house in the swamp in western Louisiana.
Wow.
That's cool.
It was scary, man. I thought about it the other day, actually. That's the reason why I'm talking about it. I thought about it today. Because I was watching something on YouTube that was all supernatural. It was like top 5, urban,
right.
Abandoned building encounters or something like that.
Yeah.
So, ranking show, whatever video, and I watched that, and it made me think about living in that haunted house. But so Imran, the intro of the episode, sir.
So, like Andre said, I was glad to see Aubrey Plaza back because the last 2 episodes, I'm like, where's Rio? Where's Rio? What's taking so long? I am a bit confused. Is this not what happened? Mrs. Hart died. She did, right? They bury her. They decide they need another green witch. They do the ceremony to summon her up. And then doesn't Rio pop out of the ground right where they buried Mrs. Hart?
Yeah.
So is she really dead? I had a hunch in the last 2 episodes that Rio was Mrs. Hart, or Mrs. Hart was Rio the whole time. I don't understand what happened. Did Mrs. Hart turn into Rio, or did Rio come out of Mrs. Hart, or is the body still there? I'm a little confused on this.
I guess it seems like it's just Rio's body, right?
Hey, Ron, I know somebody. I know a guy who might know.
How does one get in that position is what I want to know, because he's bent in half and twisted and just hanging out like in the shopping.
He was cursed. He took the True Knowledge tampon challenge, and he failed, and that's what happened. He was cursed.
That's the Target curse. There's a witch in the Targets. Yeah. How do you end up in that position?
All right, sir. Cyber, your thoughts on the intro, sir.
All right. So the intro of the episode is really solid, I felt. I mean, it starts right off where the last episode ended. We see that Mrs. Hart, aka Sharon, is dead, and that they're, basically digging her a grave. And, we kind of have, them all kind of like are very, upset about the death of Sharon, whereas Agatha's just like, we need to get going. We got to get going.
Yeah, that's funny.
And, they're all trying to kind of like mourn and like, we just had somebody die. Hello. And so, she's trying to get things going, but everyone's kind of like, no, we're taking care of this. We're burying her and stuff. And then of course, that's when they bring up, we need a witch to continue on the journey with us. And, that's when we have Rio Vidal pop back up. Now, yeah, that was one thing I was saying too. I was like, wow, like we get, Aubrey Plaza in the first episode, and then we don't see her for 2 whole episodes. Yeah. And I was like really shocked. I was like, oh, I feel they really amped up her character like she was a big part of the series.
Yeah.
And yet 2 whole episodes go by and she's not even in it. But even though she wasn't physically in it, how do we not know that she wasn't there the whole time? Just like the whole, what you were just saying, Imran.
She's Mrs. Hart.
like maybe she was actually Mrs. Hart this whole time. Maybe she was in the background somewhere because she is Lady Death. So I mean, technically, she really could be anywhere at any time. So, you know, at the same time, I think that we'll find out probably later on that she was there the whole time. Kind of like the whole thing with Agatha all along, like in WandaVision. So I think they're probably going to play something like that again. But I think the beginning was very solid. Gets us starting off, gets us right into it. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good beginning to the episode.
Okay, most definitely. And, you know, just to preface my ghost story, you know, the house I lived in Louisiana was a rental, and it was positioned right next to a mobile home, like a literal mobile home with like on wheels type home, where a woman had died in it out in the lake on her fishing boat fishing, right? Like, and all her stuff was still in the trailer, like still in the mobile home and all that, like still like she just like nobody cleaned out her trailer and all that, you know, type deal. And it had an attic and a basement. And the basement was like the most creepy fucking basement you could imagine. It had like these heavy wooden doors that like took like all your strength to fucking like open the door. There was like one like pole light in the fucking basement, right? And it was like gravel dirt like that sloped up like into the darkness. Whoa. And like that's where like the lawnmower was and all that shit and everything. I would go in there and like shit my pants like every fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like going to cut the lawn or whatever. I'd be in there shit my pants. And then we had an attic too and a basement.
What was in the attic? Attics are scarier. Basements are.
We used to hear noises from both, from the ceiling of the attic and from the ceiling, and then from the basement coming up too. We hear noises all the time.
Jeez.
I go down. I go up in the attic and yell and shit. You know, I was like 20 years old. I'd be like drunk. You know, like with a flashlight, like shut the fuck up. You know,
you're like, come on, ghost. Come on, I got you.
Yeah, for real. Come on, bro. Let's do it. So anyways, so yeah, it was deep. You know, have you ever heard of that shit mimicking, where the ghosts mimic your people's voices?
There's in the movie. Isn't there a movie Mimic? Was that what that's about?
One time in the morning, I was in bed with my ex-wife, and I heard her voice, and she heard it too, telling me to get up for work because I was going to be late for work, and it was the ghost. That wasn't her. I was looking right at her. It was her voice coming from the bathroom.
That's weird.
And we were in the bedroom in the bed, and it was the ghost. Yeah, it was crazy, bro. So back to Agatha All Along, you know, which, just to be clear, in the episode 4 mark, my opinion is that the show is a little cringy. Especially episode 4 is cringy, like hardcore cringy. And I'm not a big fan. Unlike some other people on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel podcast, I'm not a massive fan of cringy cringe. I find it very much like disturbing to my ability to find like value in my entertainment when it's cringy. I can't tolerate it. It's very difficult for me. I like turn my head, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Makes you
like,
uncomfortable.
Yes, I don't like cringe. I don't enjoy it. Right, Mr. Twist? What a cool name. We got some really cool name people coming out tonight.
I hope your gig goes well. He's at his gig.
Oh, he's at his gig? Oh shit. Is it an Upwork gig or is it like an OnlyFans gig?
I don't know. We can only imagine.
All right, Mr. Jock and Nerd. All right, so back to Agatha All Along. Jock and Nerd podcast, folks. There you go. Tune in. So right after Rio Duvall shows up, right? She's acting all fucking crazy, everything, right? Like everybody's already saying. And so she goes and walks the road with the coven, right? And like the 3 witches that are still left are like talking shit about her, you know, and then she like pops up on them and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, shit like that's going on. And they come across the next house, their next challenge or whatever. You know, they got 3 challenges or whatever the fuck it is on the road or some shit, right? Before they can actually get to the end of the road or whatever. So the next challenge, they try to get off the path, you know, because they don't want to go there, but they get drawn in, baby, you know, and they got to stay on the road. So they go to the house, they just like shift there. They teleport there and they get like a clothes change deal, you know, their clothes get changed into like this really cringy, like set of outfits. Like, you know, like, I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Oh, that shit, you know, like 70s, it was groovy. It was 70s.
Is that what it was? It was 70s groove, Imran?
It was like
That's what it
70s, lots of cocaine, big hair. It was great. It's like
What's
Studio
up,
54.
Mr. Twist?
He's at a jazz gig. We found out.
You noticed Mr. Cringe, you noticed the cringe too? Oh, man. Come on now. Anyways, so they go to their challenge. They get a clothes change, right? Which is interesting. And all of a sudden, the one witch chick starts conduiting the dead of the one chick's mother and shit, you know, and like becoming her and shit, like, you know, and all this shit. So I'm sure we're gonna get more of that down the road. The Asian chick's mom. And then Teen plays a record. Billy Kaplan plays a record, and they get cursed. So I'll stop there. Cyber Sir, your thoughts on that section of the episode where they up to the point where they get cursed by the record?
So at this point, I thought the episode was still very good. I thought it was just like the last episode. You know, we get them walking on the road, they come across that house, and then they get transported in, change their clothes again, just like they did with the boathouse situation. And they're very 70s glam, and you're just kind of like, well, definitely disco era here, people. Yeah, disco era. And Patti LuPone, it was kind of funny. As I'm watching the episode, Patti LuPone seemed to be the only woman that actually had breast, and all the women there. And I'm like cracking up, going, okay, so the 70-year-old is the biggest breast. Like, what the hell?
And they're wearing these open numbers, right?
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, okay. But then it's like, you know, definitely, I think out of all of them, the best dress was definitely Aubrey Plaza. I thought she looked the best out of all of them. Her outfit, I just thought was cool looking, and the pants and everything were cool. But those gold pants on Catherine Hahn were hilarious. I thought, I'm like, that was just like, I was blinded. But anyways, you know, you get into that, and you know, they get in there, and they're kind of the same situation. They're thinking, oh, there was the mantle with the letter. Maybe there's something around here that has the same type of deal, you know, for this trial. And just right off the bat, we see that, you know, the what's her name there? Excuse me,
Alice.
Yes, Alice. Thank you,
Alice Wu. Yeah,
Alice Wu. You definitely can see that there's something going on with her, because something similar or familiar to her, you can tell that she's, you know, that something's going on. And because as soon as they get in there and she's looking around, she's like, oh, this makes me think of my mother. You can tell her, it makes her think of, you know, music and her mother and the gigs and stuff like that. And so you're like, right off the bat, you're like, definitely something going on. This trial has to do with Alice. This is definitely an Alice trial that, you know, she has to use her powers in order to save them.
Oh, yeah.
And so just like how the last one, had to be
Jen. It was Jen making the potion.
Yeah,
right.
Making the potion. So
it's good.
So each trial is gonna have to use a particular witch. So that's why they need a green witch. At some point, they're gonna need the green witch to do something. Just like how each of the other witches have their own things. Patti LuPone is divination and all that kind of stuff. So definitely right at the get-go, you're kind of getting that message like, oh, this is definitely going to be an Alice Wu thing. This could be her. She's going to have to do something here to get the trial off and to finish it, like Jen had to in the last episode. So I mean, you had some great kind of scenery there. All the instruments and all that kind of stuff were cool looking. And leading up to when they start all getting cursed, that was very interesting. Once we get into that, but overall, I think that section of the episode was decent still. And very entertaining.
Andres, the pop culture guy.
Okay. So, this was getting to the house was really good. I really enjoyed the humor in this part. Like, it was very funny when Alice didn't want to go because she recognized it, and then it was funny when she turns around and then the house is right there, and like Attica, Harkness says like, "Well, the road's not letting us, so we're going," and it was very funny when the trio, Alice, Jennifer, and Lydia were talking one another about should we trust this green witch we just met, or like it was so funny. And then it was just funny when Rio scared them a little bit with it was like hello, and with that knife and all that was like very hilarious. And then I gotta say, we haven't mentioned up the production design, like there something brought up was like how much this not feels like the other Disney Plus shows. This you could see the money is put in this show, which is great because that was a big issue with other Disney Plus shows. I mean, freaking Acolyte was cheap. It was like a Star Trek show. It wasn't a Star Wars show.
Hold on a minute. They spent the money. They spent the money for the Acolyte. It was $180 million.
Yeah, right.
And they said Agatha is the least expensive Marvel show they've done so far.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will show you. Like,
Good.
I mean, you can see they put the money here. Like, they're being very good at spending their money, and you see everything in the screen here. Like, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, you look at other shows spending huge. Like, Secret Invasion was a huge, like, budget, and look at it. It was crap, And so here, I like how, everything was detailed. Like, the costumes look great. That house like has character. Like, I mean, it's like the production design's been really awesome this so far, in this show. So I really want to commend the production designers and all that. I think that's the one aspect I actually like about this episode. It's like the atmosphere and the detail of this trial was very unique, compared to last episode. Like it feels different from the last episode, which I appreciate. And also like practical effects, like it's pretty much practical effects, which I like, because we need more of that, and thankfully this show knows how to do that. And one thing I did appreciate with these sequence is seeing the little details, how these characters reacting. Like the Leah character was looking at those, like, what we call those, like glass images of the witches getting like killed.
Yeah, there was like banners of witch
banners,
torture. Yeah, one of them was burning, one was
burning
streams.
Yeah, and she had a tear, and I, that moment was my favorite. I was like, whoa, like just again showing how great she is as an actress, and I like that was really intriguing. Like, I mean, because remember she's been through those like trials, those like witch hunts and all that. So it's really great world building to kind of get the sense that this affected her the most, right? And then of course developing more Real and Harkness relationship, that I appreciate. Like, you got a sense that okay, they were a couple. I mean, it's not like a big surprise really. Like, we got that sense of episode 1, but I was kind of curious why they're like why Harkness doesn't trust her, and we'll get into more of the episode. But overall, I think this section was still great. Nothing spectacular yet, but it was very good to develop more of our characters and all that.
Imran.
No, I agree with Andres. I love the set design. The way this house has very warm red themes. Right at the door, they go, it's that whatever phase of the moon, and the teen is like fire phase, and everything is red. I love the outfits. I love that it's a recording studio from the 70s. That was a lot of fun. We are finding more about Alice, right? In the beginning, she talks about how her mom died on the road. And you guys helped me put the clues together that each trial is specific witch focused. It totally makes sense that this was Alice Wu's thing, because she sees the poster, like a rock poster of her mom inside. And then just the playing the records backwards always reminds me of like the end of that Beatles song, or back in like the 70s when people used to play Black Sabbath records backwards and swore there was demonic messages. It's fantastic. Just that whole trope of playing things backwards is great. And it always sounds creepy.
Yeah. I want to have sex with a ghost.
Well, now, is that possible? It happened in Ghostbusters, I think. There was a
Could you
Yeah.
imagine? Could you imagine? Yeah, I saw.
I'm thinking more like Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you were having sex and like you got haunted during that time, right? Like you're having sex or whatever, right? You're doing your thing, right? Like, you know, you're having sex with Captain Hot.
What if it's a sex
or whatever, right? You're doing the True Knowledge tampon challenge. You know what I'm saying? And like a ghost comes in. You know what I mean? Like Beetlejuice comes in. Or whatever, you know?
Beetlejuice comes in. He's like, "Hey Jeff, what are you doing over there?" Wait, hilarious.
And I'm like, "What do you think, sir? You saw me take that tampon out with my teeth." Obviously, I'm not here to I'm not here playing games. What's up? Anyways, there you go. Yes. I would never kill off a potential. I would never kill on as far as the options go with the fucking marry kill thing, because most chicks are always viable to fuck. So, you know, like it's very, very hard to find one that's not at least fuckable. Ladies, you know what I'm saying? Even the rough looking ones out there of you are at least fuckable. You know? Depending on the intoxicants and like the alcohol and all that you've been like you've had, obviously.
I like that you're like equal opportunity. You're very open minded. It's good.
Oh yes,
you know.
Yeah, I mean most definitely. I am definitely. What's that, Andreas?
He's a feminist. You're a quite feminist, sir.
I'm a feminist. Okay.
It sounded like you said feminist.
I know you said feminist. I was like, what's a feminist?
If you understand the reference, folks, it's from a comedy show, and it's hilarious. I just think, Jeff, you're now the Larry David of the show, sir.
Oh, I'm the Larry David, huh? Okay.
Oh no, you're Leon. You remind me of Leon, Black Leon.
Oh, the Leon. That makes more sense. Okay.
Pretty good.
Leon's great though.
Yeah, he's great.
Okay. So back to my ghost story. We used to have the shit happen where like stuff would get moved and all that stuff. Like you go to bed, and like wake up in the morning and like, you know, plates will be taken out of the cupboards and shit like that.
No.
You know, and like silverware, you know, stuff will be taken out and put on like the counter or whatever, you know, like stuff will get taken out of stuff.
Yeah.
But they were like friendly ghosts.
Yeah, they were just like fucking with you, mischievous.
I was running late that morning for work when the ghost like told me to get up for work because I was running late. I was late for work.
Oh, he's trying to help you out. You have a ghost. Yeah. You had a ghost alarm clock. That's kind of useful. That could
I was young, but I lived in a haunted house in the swamps of Louisiana, folks. It was intense, and so I believe in ghosts now because they're real. And I'm afraid of the dark to some extent too, to be honest with you. So I don't know how well I would do on the road. It's pretty dark on the road. I don't like the dark, especially walking around in the dark, you know, like out in the dark. I don't really like walking around in the dark. So I'm a tough motherfucker. I'll fight a motherfucker. But like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to fight a ghost, you know?
You can bust them though.
Yeah. So anyways, we lost Cyber for a little while. He's taking the True Knowledge tampon challenge, of course. You know?
He's like, be right back. I gotta record a TikTok. I'll be right back. Hold on.
He's like, yeah, I'm taking the challenge.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I need a crack rock on the spot.
Oh, is that the next song that's gonna be on Agatha All Along? I like that. That's catchy. Down the crack pipe.
They had to give me a crack rock for me to participate in that jam session scene. that's coming up in the episode. They'd have to give me a crack rock.
It would have been more authentic if they all just did like big lines of cocaine before they started playing, right? That's how you made music in the 70s.
I'd be like, if I'm going to be this cringy on national television, on Disney Plus, I need a crack rock first. So, all right. So back to the episode. So after the clothes change and everything, right, and the all that, the team playing a record, they get cursed. The whole coven does, and basically they get like I don't know, steamy and start falling over and shit, and like have to
burning.
They're having to use witchcraft, and using a knife and a blade to like make circles around them to keep them safe and shit. It's fucking crazy. And then we get the jam session. The jam of the Agatha All Along jam session, right? Where they jam out and do a different of the remix of the road song, right? To fight somehow, I don't know how, but somehow it fights the curse. And there's like fires going on, and it's just burning in the background during the jam. The jam out, it's very cringy.
Oh, come on, it's like the Billy Joel "We Didn't Start the Fire" music video. Same thing.
I just personally don't care for the singing stuff in Agatha. I don't care for it. But I'll stop there. I'll stop at the end of the jam session, at the end of like the lifting of the curse through the jam session, right? So I'll start with you, Imran. What are your thoughts, sir, on the lead up and then the jam session section of the episode?
I like learning more about Alice's mom. They have to sing her version of the ballad, but I kind of like the song usage both times because they explain Alice brought this curse, and the record that was playing backwards was the recording, her mom's song, the ballad that she recorded, and her song is a protection spell. So to break this curse, they have to play the song. And we should have expected another musical number, of course, once we saw the instruments. But the tune is catchy. And like when shit started lighting on fire, I was like, oh, snap, what the hell's going on? And then you see a demon. You see a demon with wings and shit. I didn't expect that to actually see a demon. But, they just like sing harder, sing like witches. And I also think it's convenient. Everybody knows how to play instruments somehow. Sure. Why not? They are witches. I don't know. They could just have a musical spell. But
I know the instrument playing was very interesting.
Yeah, we see. So you see those burn marks, and then you kind of find out what the burn marks are, and that she had them, and then this is her curse that she has to fight. But that I thought that was crazy. I thought that where the actual curse shows up and lands on her, and it's on fire, and then she's still playing, and there's fire. I was like, wow, that's kind of nuts, but it's fun.
I thought that that shit on their shoulders was like that shit that you see on the commercials all the time. You always see the commercials for that rosacea shit, that fucking whatever it's called shit, where they
varicose veins or some shit. Is it what you talking about? Or rosacea? Yeah. Some
shit, yeah. And that's why I thought maybe they had going on. There's a lot of commercials for that shit. Cyndi Lauper is one of the representatives for that shit.
Oh yeah, what's the name of that drug? I can't remember. They all sound the same. I don't know what. Ask your doctor for a prescription, people.
Cyndi Lauper is very fuckable still.
Yeah, you still hit that? Oh, okay.
They should have cast Cyndi Lauper in Agatha All Along. That would have been dope. Anyways, Cyber, your thoughts, sir, on the chunk of the episode leading up to and incorporating the jam session, the cringe jam out session of the century of Agatha All Along.
The jam session, eh? So yeah, I mean, leading up from where we left off before, just like I said before, this section I didn't mind. I found it interesting. I found it fun because it was kind of like solving a mystery type of deal. and they all start getting hit by the curse. We find out that they're being cursed because of Alice, who we end up finding out that she's been cursed her whole life. It's one of those generational curses, and that it was given to her by her mother. Her mother had it from her mother, etc., etc. And basically that's the burden she's had to deal with, she pretended to basically think they were birthmarks when they really were. It was a curse this whole time. And once again, that shows that this trial is all about Alice's character, and that she's the witch that's going to be the one to write the thing. And then as each of them are getting hit, they see the instruments. They're like, okay, I think we have to sing the song. We have to sing the song again, but this time we have to sing your mom's version, basically, because and Catherine Hahn, Agatha pops up saying, yeah, the verses are different in your mom's version.
Mm.
And so, basically they start jamming out. And as they're jamming out, they're singing or doing the cringe sing, as Jeff says. And, they're singing, and which, just like Imran, I found the song catchy. I thought it was another great version of the song.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Anything with Patti LuPone is going to have music in it. Sorry. She's a Broadway actress. She sings, she dances. That's just her. So I'm not shocked that there's so much singing in this. And, as they're singing it, I'm getting down with the song. I'm enjoying it. And, eventually we end up seeing this demon pop up, and Alice sees it and is like, I can kill it. I can get it. I know how to do it. And she starts super jamming out, singing the song. And basically we see things start to basically catch on fire. And then we see the demon basically burst into flames and die. And basically they have finished and have lifted the curse by playing the song. So leaving right there to the end of them jamming out. I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was done well. I thought the musical song was fun. I thought that them jamming on the different instruments was funny. Definitely a lot of them looked like they definitely didn't know how to play instruments. At the same time, it still looked fun. And I thought the demon looked really cool. And overall, I thought that was a great portion of the episode.
All right, I'm just a pop culture guy, sir.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got the two songwriters from the mega franchise Frozen.
Yeah.
And of course they did the music for WandaVision, so I was not surprised that we got another one. I like it. It was catchy. Like, it could have been bad if it was so bad as a song, and it's like, what the hell I'm listening. Like, at least this had a jam, and it was actually kind of cool how different the ballad they had to sing compared to the one we heard in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that I appreciate that. So there's a lot of care on the music, and I agree with Imran, that the song's telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very important when you do musicals like this, because if the song is just there to just be a promotion for something coming up, or just like a licensed music, then it's gonna be in trouble, or it's not part of the story or development of this character that we care about. So that's the reason that it's still great to hear, because it's telling so much about who Alice is as a person and how much she loves about her mom, and this is very personal for her. I just wish that this episode was more about her, and I wish we spend more time there. Despite we get some cool information about her mother and her and all that, but yeah, I really enjoyed this the cringy music you were talking about. But I dug the entrance. Sometimes when they're done with their missions, it's cool when they had to go go off from the trial. Like, first it was an oven, now it was like the piano. That was really cool. So yeah, I dug it. The demon was creepy. I was shocked that we got a demon here. I was like, whoa, you flying, it was like freaking Jeepy Creepers,
Yeah, he looked scary. It was pretty frightening looking.
Yeah. And Evil Dead, the recorder reminds me so much about Evil Dead. Whenever some stupid teen or Ash listen to the person reading the the book, and it's like anyway, I enjoy it. It's telling the story, which is good.
Okay, so the end of the episode is just like one big bullshit session in front of the fire, and that's it. There's a bullshit session at the fire. The teen, when they get rid of the curse with the jam session, the teen passes out and is like hurt or whatever, but like he ends up okay. There's a bullshit session between him and Agatha, and then you see Agatha and Lady Death, Rhea Patel or whatever, like have a moment where it looks like they're gonna kiss for a minute, like Agatha's gay or whatever now, I guess. So it was kind of cringy, but that was the end of the episode. It was kind of disappointing for me. The episode kind of fell flat at that point. But I'm a pop culture guy, so what are your thoughts on the end of the episode?
Okay, so this saved this episode, I think, for me. I agree this is a very weak episode, but I think the intrigue, the very info we're getting about Harkness and her child is still compelling, and and just the way Real and Harkness kind of interact each other, I like how that fire camp thing, everyone was talking about their scars, and then Harkness showed her scar, and then it kind of offended Real, and then she talks about how her lover is her scar.
Was she talking about Agatha?
Yeah,
right.
It was clearly there because she literally,
when she leaves, she's like, "I gotta stretch my legs." And she
stretch her legs, and I that is so great storytelling, and you can tell, it confirms your suspicions if you're under a rock. Some people, under a rock, that yes, there've been a couple, and the way that they do it is really great visually. How they move their bodies, because that's one thing I appreciate about the actress that plays Harkness and Audrey Fossa. The way they move their faces and their body movements, we can tell a lot about their performances. And I thought that was really great. And then the big kicker for me was a Real telling Harkness that the teen is not your son. So now even that is kind of okay, maybe I don't trust Real, but it kind of makes sense that it doesn't seem like teen is her son, which makes a lot of sense. The fact that we everyone knows it's probably Billy, right? So it's very intriguing that she's projecting her son to this teen, for some reason, and so it's very already very intriguing. So but yeah, the teen getting hurt was kind of typical. I was like, wow, really? And how he got hurt,
That's what I said. I was like, how did that happen? He has a big piece of thing in his side, shrapnel. I was like, when did that happen? What? Nothing exploded.
Yeah. Well, I know he got thrown in the window, right?
Oh, he got thrown. That's right. He did get thrown through the window. That's what happened.
But yeah, it was so weird. Randomly, when he had to get out from the trial, they just come off. He got hurt. Didn't he get thrown to the window, and then they play a whole damn song? And then he finally passes out. Is that what that was the order? Yes, right? Yes, that's the order. Yeah.
Oh, that's a little weird. Okay. He didn't notice until.
Okay, he didn't notice. Okay.
Man, I don't know.
It was weird. I was like, how did he I guess he hit it, but then I didn't see shrapnel, and then it made a lot of sense. Yeah. So it was weird at first, but it was intriguing because he asked Harkness when he got he woke up about who is your son, and she didn't respond, and it's again just more we're getting more I think the sense that we're going to get more about Nicholas Scratch and all that, and why she or really she's probably was the one sacrificed her son for the dark hole, where Real didn't want to do it, and so it makes Harkness more a villain, which I kind of like. I think they should go in that direction, because I don't want Harkness to be an anti-hero like Loki. I do want some villains to be villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think Harkness is really the best option to keep as a villain, because I like her that way. But I don't mind her turning into anti-hero either if they do it well, like Loki, But anyway, I thought this was a great wrap-up for the episode 4. It's my least favorite, but it at least had some like great moments. I mean, Audrey Plaza saved it for me.
Okay, Imran.
I did think it was weird that the trial ended so quickly and that Demon was barely an inconvenience. I was like, what? It's over? And yeah, the last bit is a little padded. They are just shooting the shit, but I do enjoy the details where Agatha is very overprotective of the teen. She's very distraught, very motherly. And you see Rio notice all this. And then later, that's why she goes, "That's not your boy," right before they're going to kiss. What also we got is my favorite line of the whole episode when they're talking about nipples. And Aubrey Plaza is like, "You guys don't have an extra nipple? I'm covered in nipples. Want to see them?" Like, that's hilarious. She's so funny. What a great line. I was like, I want to see the nipples. But again, I think I am intrigued about who Nicholas Scratch is. And then Lilia just says out of nowhere, the Three of Swords. There's this 3 thing that keeps popping up. There was like triple goddess on the locket. Apparently I saw this in another article. All the clocks in the first 2 episodes were set at like 3:33. So there's something about a trio, the number 3. They keep hinting at 3. I also do love how Lilia, it just says random things. Like, it seems like, because the last episode she was screaming Wanda, Wanda. It seems like she just picks up on these random psychic things and they come out of her mouth and she doesn't even know what she's saying. So, because then again, when they're in the beginning, when they're standing by the poster, she's telling Alice, "Don't," and then Alice is like, "Don't what?" And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So that is intriguing. I want to find out more about that. So yeah, ultimately I was like, "That's a weird ending. It's a little padded. They're about to make out, and then they don't even give us that." I would have watched that. That would have been fun.
Cyber.
All right, so the ending of the episode for me is where the cringe came in. The whole freaking thing where they almost look like they're kissing, her making the reference that her scar is a her. I just was not a big fan of that. Definitely I know that they hinted at it in the first episode, but this is where they took it, kind of to the next level. But at the same time, watching this, I definitely feel like how this episode ended did not seem like what the original way it was supposed to end. I definitely feel like this is where they did reshoots after the strike ended. And I definitely feel this episode suffered from creative changes at the end of making this episode kind of, very lackluster, because those last 2 episodes I thought were very strong. And so the fact that, this episode kind of went downhill, I definitely felt like there was a lot of wonky things about this episode. Hence having the trial so short and then having that kind of end little thing that really wasn't really necessary for the series to travel more, to proceed. So definitely I thought that the end of this for me was the cringeworthy, not the music. And I definitely think that it could have had a way more powerful ending. But yeah, I definitely agree with Imran about the nipple thing. That was hilarious. Her's like, you guys don't have more nipples? I can show you. That was absolutely hilarious. Yeah. And I definitely think like some of the conversations they were having were kind of funny about their experiences and their scars and stuff like that. The conversation between Billy and Agatha there, where she kind of shows kind of a motherly like feeling, like being kind of an anti-hero. I was really shocked by that, because definitely I thought that they were trying to keep Agatha more in the line of being an antagonist, but I feel that they want to probably keep Catherine Hahn around, so I feel they're going to end up making her an anti-hero, because in the comic books, Agatha Harkness really was kind of a anti-hero that helped the Fantastic Four. Yeah. So that line of Agatha Harkness's kind of story from the comics might be is where they might be pushing it, especially because this is coming out prior to the Fantastic Four first steps coming out next year and stuff like that. So I feel that that's kind of the storyline they're going with. So I think, unfortunately, you're not going to get a full-on enemy Agatha. I think, we got that in WandaVision, and then from now on, we're going to see more of an anti-hero, kind of like Venom became, and kind of like some of the other characters that have become like Loki and so forth that are anti-heroes.
I mean,
So-
all of the Thunderbolts, right? Every character almost in that movie, they do this to all of them. Like they're all anti-heroes, and then they just kill like the actual villains, so you can't use them again. I don't know why they do this.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that the ending, for me, it was the weakest point of the episode, the cringeworthy of the episode, and overall, I think it just was a really weak ending.
Okay. Let's do ratings for the episode then. So, Cyber, go ahead and start with ratings.
I'll give it a 7.
Imran.
I would do like 6.5. Not my favorite out of them.
All right, sir.
Yet.
Okay, sir. My magic wand is about a 6.5. So there you go.
Centimeters? You gotta what unit measurement?
Millimeters.
Millimeters.
Yeah, it's very tiny.
Yeah.
Andres.
Sure. I give it 7.5 out of 10 just because of my love, Audrey Plaza, but it's a weak episode. I mean, it's whatever. It's a filler episode for this week. So
I mean, the middles always kind of sag on these series, right? The middle episodes, because if you think of the flow of a season, like you want to start strong, and it's gonna kind of dip in the middle, and then it's gonna build back up, and hopefully end with something substantive and big, and maybe like a guest appearance of somebody bigger. I don't know.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
5 for me because there was just too much cringe. I could have done without the jam session, personally. Does anybody else have any more ghost stories? Any supernatural stories?
None here, unfortunately.
no.
I mean, there was one time like with the lights flickered. My mother-in-law was like on her way out. She had cancer, and we were standing around talking about ghosts. And you know who has ghost stories? Those hospice workers, the ladies that come to like dying people's houses.
Cyber, what do you mean? Unfortunately, supernatural experiences are not positive, sir. I don't think. Mine was
Some people
positive
say they do.
for the most part.
Some people say they are.
I believe in ghosts though. Like
Yeah.
I've seen them interfere with electricity and just weird shit you can't explain.
My haunting experience was positive for the most part. Like, like I said, like the one time when the ghost did something really crazy, like talk, it was positive.
It was
It was
helping
like,
you.
Jeff,
Yeah, you had a
you're gonna be
friendly.
late for work.
Yeah, you had a friendly with you there. No, they weren't mad.
But that house was haunted as fuck, bro. I lived in a haunted ass house. That shit
Yeah,
was haunted as fuck.
I don't believe in actual ghosts. I believe in other dimensions. I believe in beings from other dimensions that can cause that to happen, that seem like ghosts.
Sure.
But I don't believe in the actual ghost term, but I do believe in other dimensions interfering with our dimension.
That could be ghosts. That is absolutely a possibility where frequencies, vibrations occasionally phase in and out. This could also explain like Mandela effects and other weird phenomenon that there's a parallel and a thin boundary around our reality that sometimes gets shattered. I love that. That's fascinating to think about.
Well, I said that I would bring up at least one more supernatural, weird, on the road sexual experience or something like that, from my repertoire. So I'll tell you that one time with this one chick, we were doing anal, right? And I don't know.
Is that shocking to anybody?
It's,
No.
It's really grimy and dirty, but even though it was anal, I still pulled out and presented my magic wand to her for a cleansing, for satisfaction purposes, and she stepped right up to the plate, coming right off the anal. She stepped right off the plate and she drained that magic wand. She drained that magic wand, and she sucked up that semen so quick. It was very supernatural. It was very witchy.
Oh, that's the supernatural part. When are you going to get to the supernatural part? I don't hear.
It was very supernatural.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to say that a ghost joined them and help her get it off for him so that he could finish.
That's the Jeff story.
was-
I had a threesome with a ghost one time.
It
In
was
the
a
haunted
ghost.
house
It was a
in
demon. It was a demon that got in me that made me do such a dirty,
The
disgusting
demon
thing.
He doesn't need no demon
like
in him to do that.
to present myself like that coming off that butthole. You know. One time I did that to another chick, a young chick, right, that had never done anal before.
No.
I did anal with her for the first time, and I pulled out and tried to, and let her finish me off with her mouth, and she spit it out into a cup. Like she stepped off the nut and made a face. So I grabbed the cup and gave it to her, and she spit it out into a cup. That was very supernatural.
There you go.
Yes. And
Let's hope it wasn't a cup of beer and Stifler drank it.
It was just a leftover cup from the night before. You know, it was the morning after. I went right to anal sex for the morning after. Like after the first time having sex, I went right to anal sex. You know, you gotta move forward on the road, right, Imran? You gotta move forward.
Down the road.
Yeah. You gotta go down. You gotta move forward down the road, you know, and so you gotta escalate, you know.
It's like that
It's
like that Van Morrison song, Brown Eye Girl, you know.
Brown Eye Girl.
There you go. So, folks, it is now plug time on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, where all of our wonderful contributors tonight get to talk about their individual content. So we'll start with Imran from the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Imran, what do you got, sir? What's going on at Jock and Nerd?
You know, just putting out silly shows every week, talking about movies and TV shows and comic books and superhero content. Our latest episode, we started a new segment called Franchise Rehab. It's the Monsterverse edition. We take a look at Legendary's Monsterverse, talk about what we like, what works, what they need to change, where it could go next. And if you subscribe, follow on any podcast listening app, our next episode, we will be reviewing Joker Folie à Deux. I don't know how you say that. And speaking of musicals, this is a jukebox musical, and I have very low expectations. I have heard that this movie is not. There's no point to this movie, but I'm going to go see it tomorrow night. Can't wait to see this Joker and Lady Gaga do. I don't know what they're doing. They're singing songs. There's a talk show. We'll see.
Yes, Gaga makes you go Gaga.
The Gaga.
Imran, why don't you have us over to Jock and Nerd for your Monday show instead of doing our show? We'll come over and do your show.
We could work that out,
and we could do Penguin together.
We could do a double.
We should do that. We'll put it together.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll take our show off one night and come over to your show.
Yeah, we can record.
You can send me a copy of the show so I can put it up on our channel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just audio. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. We'll just go straight audio for that weekend.
Yeah, we just do it's straight audio podcast. That way you can listen and do other things. You know, while you're listening, it's we keep you company.
That's right. You can take the $2 challenge. There you go.
That's right. Get that string. I don't know.
There you go. All right, Imran. Good to hear, sir. Cyberneticshark, sir.
Well, hello, folks. If you enjoyed me on the panel, enjoyed me moderating, you go check out my solo content. You can find me under Cyberneticshark. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, pretty much anywhere. As you see there, my most recent trailer reaction there is for Transformers 1, which I just went and saw this past Monday. We'll have the review up for that eventually soon, along with my Beetlejuice review and stuff like that. If you haven't checked out Afraid, definitely check out that review. It's a very interesting film. Actually pretty decent, pretty fun. And if you haven't seen any of my shorts recently, I think my most recent short was, what was it for? It was something I watched a few weeks ago, I think already. Yeah, Celebrate Party Basket Galaxy of Terror. I haven't gotten my mini reviews up of Beetlejuice, Transformers 1 or Wild Robot yet, but we'll be having those up as reviews eventually here soon for you guys. And just keep on trucking, keep on being subscribers, watching us here on the MCU's Bleeding Edge as well. And keep helping me and Andres in the MCU's Bleeding Edge grow. And definitely go check out the Jock and Nerd Podcast as well.
There you go. Andres the Pop Culture Guy, sir.
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining us today. It was really fun. What did I say? I just recently did a recap on Agatha All Along episode 2 and Penguin episode episode 3, Agatha episode 3, and then Penguin episode 2 from the live today. Check that out for Andre's pop culture recap. Just recently posted my top favorite DC monsters, and recently I put up all my upcoming live stream reviews. So for the movie side, I proudly announced that the 2 movies that we're going to review this month, it's going to be Nightmare on Elm Street and Heathers this month. So I just made that decision. I was just like, all right, let me do that. Those are going to be our movies for this month. And then my solo recasts are going to be here. You see the schedules right there for Agatha All Along and the Penguin. And I will also discuss Daryl Dixon as well, because I really like the show. So I'll type that towards the end. But yeah, so just please support me and Cyber to hit that huge mark very soon. And just right now, just need more reviews. That's all.
Okay. And folks, you'll see Cyber and I on Friday, along with J-Round 2000 and Rathacon for Rings of Power season finale, episode 8. Should be great. Looking forward to it, Cyber. Can't wait. Finale's probably going to be good, I imagine. Episode 7 was pretty good. So looking forward to episode 8. God bless everybody out there. God bless everybody in the comment section. We love all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. We will see you on Friday. We'll see you on Monday. We'll see you next Wednesday for Agatha episode 5. Imran will be back at some point for more Agatha, more jams, more cringe, more jam sessions. So peace out, folks. We'll see you later.
Bye.